This Christmas season, we have chosen the theme of Let There Be Light to guide us through our Christmas celebration. And just last week, Father, during both the Christmas Eve and Christmas Day Masses, preached to us what the gospel tells us. And that is to say that Jesus is the light of the world. Not only that, and perhaps a little bit more unsettling, that Jesus calls on you and me to be that light in the world today. Now, for some of us, that may have been a new revelation, and I suppose that's only appropriate because the Gospels do bring about all that is new. As I was reflecting on the Gospel of Luke today, I imagined how light often plays a role in Luke's Gospel. And of course, in our own lives, light helps us to discover new things all the time. Light helps us to discover some of the smaller difficulties in our life, the new and amazing world of lost car keys, which seem to find themselves everywhere except for where you left them, behind chairs where you wouldn't have put them, under couch cushions where, let's just face it, that had to be done on purpose. Amazing things. Light helps us to discover bedrooms or kitchens that were supposed to be clean, and they were, but somehow in the time that happened and when Mom and Dad checked the room, it was made disheveled again in some way. All kidding aside, though, light really is a wonderful way for us to discover so many things in life. The Hubble telescope helped us to be able to calculate the vastness of the universe and time itself. And we stand in awe of all the majesty and wonder of God's creation and the natural world. And so it perhaps is only appropriate that we see so much of the light reflected in Luke's gospel. And Luke's gospel wishes to share with us this very important idea, that the light of the world that our scriptures testify to us was something new in the world. And of course, Luke's gospel is filled with lots of new things. For example, Luke is the only gospel that is written by a Gentile. That was new, as most of the gospel writers were of the Jewish tradition. Luke wrote more than a quarter of the New Testament, writing both the Gospel of Luke and the Acts of the Apostles, the first history of the church. And that was new. He shed light on the birth of Jesus Christ, something that we celebrate today in the solemnity of the Blessed Virgin Mary, the Mother of God. And certainly her life was made new and surprising, I think, in some ways, when the angel Gabriel came to her and told her that she would be the Mother of God. This is the season of newness, isn't it? Newness of life, renewal, something to anticipate in the future. But perhaps of all of the things that are new in Luke's gospel, all of the things that he explored, this might be the most important of all. And that is that God's message of love and salvation, his message of love for us as his family, that was for all people. And not just for a select few, but for all, those who know him and those who are far off from him. And that was a radically new message that came to light with the birth of Jesus Christ. Now, our first reading comes to us from the book of Numbers. And of course, we see the Exodus story playing out in the lives of the children of Israel. God tells to Moses that he, through Aaron, will bless the children of Israel and make a new relationship with them. A relationship so different from what they had experienced in the past. Something that would give light in their lives. He tells them this: "May the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord let his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord look upon you kindly and give you peace. It's an amazingly beautiful message, isn't it? It's something new, something they've never experienced before. That God wishes to bless them and to be with them and to light the way of his people as they travel to this new holy land that he has set apart for them. Now, in the Gospel of Luke, we hear the story of the shepherds who, as they were watching their sheep at night, saw this great light, and from it the angel of the Lord comes to them and proclaims the birth of the Son of God, Jesus Christ. Emmanuel, he who shall walk with his people to bless them always. And so they travel in great haste to Bethlehem, to the manger. And behold, they find the infant king, laid there in the manger in humble origin, wrapped in swaddling clothes. And that must have been quite unexpected. You know, they knew how kings were born. They had seen the great palaces that marked their lives as different from other people's. But here appeared a king like no other had come before. Under the most trying of circumstances, he would be born. And from humble origins, he would be the peace and blessing of the world. And that was new. And that was unexpected. As Father told us last week, light brings life to all things. And it certainly helps us to discover what is new in our lives. Luke's gospel and the book of Numbers, they point to that wonderful reality of Jesus as the light of the world. And of course, our place in that wonderful story. And so I suppose the question for us this week, as we celebrate the new year and the beginning of something new and exciting in our lives, the question might be this: knowing that you are called to be the light of the world and to reflect the image of Christ, how will you and I be that blessing in the world? And to whom shall we share those blessings with? For they are there and they await for us to bring them the good news of Jesus Christ.